All right, kiddos, welcome back to Coach Speak. Good times, another week, more games, some disappointing, some exhilarating, some somewhere in between. Either way, coaches have a lot to say, and we're here to document those words and to have fun at their expense. What else would we do? Coach Speak is always fun. If you are new to the show, make sure you like it, and you spread the word, and you send it all around to your pals, hell, your girlfriends, whatever it is you do. Make sure you get the news out there, and it's for everybody. Even though the three of us cover Florida State, as we say, we love college football. This is all about what coaches say and the absurdities and all that good stuff. So we can all go along for the ride together, even though we root for somebody else, let's say. And without further ado, Ben, my man, let's get to the first clip. Who do we got?
What's up, guys? I think we all enjoy a little aggravated Brian Kelly. So that was the case after LSU gave up 1,000,000 yards to Ole Miss and lost the game.
Combination of the busts and then the missed tackles. Can you put your finger on it, or can you explain, what's happening?
Okay, one's a true freshman. One's playing for his first time with Terrence Welch ever, on the road. I could go on. I mean, we're playing with inexperienced young players, and that's who we have. There's nobody else walking through the door. I mean, we don't have another corner. These are the guys that have to play for us, and we have to continue to develop them, and they have to continue to work at getting better each and every week, and that's where we're at. And so we got to keep rolling them out there, and they got to get, thick-skinned, and they got to keep working on tackling. They got to keep working on leveraging the football. They got to keep getting off blocks. And, Zay made a couple of nice plays on the ball, got the ball out. You just got to keep working on it, work to get better.
First of all, guys, he went Rick Pitino on us.
Yeah, man. Why didn't you bring up Honey Badger's not walking through that door?
Patrick Peterson's not walking through that door.
Billy Cannon, I'm sure he played both ways back in the 50s. He's not walking through that door either, guys. No,
not doing it. And the joy of all that is that he listened intently, like he wanted to get angry. Yeah. I'm going to disagree with Ben's descriptor here. I think he wanted to be angry, but it was a fair question. So he went case by case, guys. Case by case. They're young. They're on the road. Ain't nobody else coming through that door. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, guys?
I think the answer would be maybe recruit better.
I also think in the question it was something like, could you talk about all the missed assignments and all the missed tackles? Because didn't he say later there's like 30-something missed tackles?
Oh, and I think that was being kind. I watched every second of that game, fellas. There might have been more like 50 missed tackles. It was something to behold. And by the way, I know Ben said 1,000,000, but I think it was 700 and something yards. I mean,
721. I think it was 721. Yeah.
Yep. So, frankly, if we're being honest, he's actually kind of composed.
I wonder, do you think Brian Kelly in early October thinks back to what Brian Kelly was thinking in August? Because he was very confident going into that season opener against Florida State.
I think his exact words were they were going to kick Florida State's butt. The other part of that was that he said it right after throwing out a bunch of caveats about why they might not.
Right.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We're still going to beat Florida State's ass, but we got some issues.
We're struggling a little bit at corner, and we've had some transfers come in, and it didn't really take, and we've had some injuries. But don't get me wrong. I mean, we're good. I think he was trying to let everybody know that they weren't good, and they weren't going to kick Florida State's butt, and they're going to have problems. But to this degree,
I think it's nice though that we finally had a Pitino game reference on Coach Speak.
Well,
so we appreciate that, Brian.
Well done, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, Larry Bird's not coming through that door.
Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, they're basically dead. They're not walking through this door.
Johnson are not coming through that door.
Do you see the bums I'm coaching?
Yeah.
Look around here.
See, that's the difference, though, with this is I think Pitino might have been the GM of that team, but I don't remember. Brian Kelly is the GM of this team. Like, it's his fault that good players aren't coming through that door. Or if they're through the door, they're not good enough yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird thing to say when you're in control of the roster, to say, we got nobody else coming through that door. It's like, well, you're DBU.
Not even.
You've got to make sure you get some players on that in the secondary.
Not even a Scott Wedman or a Jerry Seasting is coming through that door to save the mighty LSU Tigers. All right, Ben, let's go, buddy. What do you got for me?
Well, although LSU struggled, there's one coach in the conference who still thinks LSU and everyone else in the SEC should be ranked.
Kirby, you guys are playing your first ranked opponent this week. There's 3 other ranked opponents on the schedule upcoming. Some are knocking on the schedule. What do you make of the SEC teams that seem to be on the rise?
I don't know who you're referencing.
You got Missouri, you got Tennessee, and Ole Miss. Are the other teams that are coming on your schedule that are ranked this week?
I personally think every SEC team should be ranked. I guarantee you there's some teams that don't want to play them that are ranked. I mean, I literally have no idea what you're referencing because every team we play in the SEC is good enough to beat us. And whether they're ranked or not, I could care less. I'm trying to be more physical than them and outscore them. And the only thing I'm concerned with, not their ranking.
First off, I don't like the look. With the way the lighting is with the visor, he's like wearing a Zorro mask. You can't see his eyes at all. Not a fan of it.
I will commend him on he's got the company mantra down. He understands the deal that it's kind of been a rigged gig for a long time in the SEC. If all your teams are preseason ranked in the top 25 and your losses don't count, and you don't fall when you lose, then how can we lose as a conference? So he got the memo.
Yeah. I mean, and I like Kirby fine, and he's obviously a great coach, but the self-servingness, I mean, just of every team in our conference should be ranked, no matter what their record is.
You think Vandy should be ranked?
Yeah. No matter what their record is, no matter how Mississippi State, no matter how many losses they have, how bad they lose to anybody, they all should be ranked. There's 25 teams in the poll. They should have over half them.
He didn't say they should all be ranked in the top 25.
Oh,
he just said they should be ranked. Like one
Right.
could be 49, Florida could be 62. Like he didn't say ranked in the top 25. You guys are making a mountain out of a molehill here.
I would do this, though. I would always encourage coaches not to do the sort of denigrating, disingenuous, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, there's a poll?
Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah, what are
You
y'all
know
talking about?
means.
What are these rankings even that you're referring to?
What did I walk into this afternoon? What are we doing?
When did this start?
Yeah. I hate it. Coaches all over the country, it's not just him, they all do that. If they don't like a question or it's not the question they hoped had been asked of them, they act confused. Like, what is this? I don't understand. I mean,
do you think there's a chance, though, that he legitimately doesn't – I think there's a chance he legitimately didn't know that, like, Missouri – and I didn't know this either, that Missouri is ranked now.
Yeah, they are.
You know, he might not have known that. So when he's saying that, what you're referencing, he might have been like, I don't know what teams you're talking about. Well, they all should be ranked.
Yeah, well, the guy said you've got 3 more ranked teams on your schedule this year, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, yeah, you do. You kind of do.
Yeah, and I get the point that we're not going to treat them any differently, and it's one game at a time and all that. We get that. But to act like he's not aware that there are polls
and
that not every team
aren't. What this ranking you speak of? Ben, let's move on from old Kirby.
Hey, I thought he missed a golden opportunity to say everyone should be ranked except for Florida, but
Damn it, man.
That's a good
would have
point.
been the way to go.
I know.
Speaking of Florida, some issues going on there, and I think we're going to have a coach speak first. We're going to switch up the view just so everyone can see your reactions to the terribleness that is this Billy Napier press conference.
All right.
Yeah, we should point that out. We have not seen these clips.
I mean, I'm on the inside, right? I have relationships with the staff, with the players. We're getting better at our process. I think that we have young players that are getting experience, that are growing and developing. I think we have veteran players that have improved as people and as leaders. And I think that we played good football at times. Some of these questions you're asking, you weren't asking a couple weeks ago.
All right, pause it, Ben. Pause right there. Okay, we've got, guys, myriad problems here right off the bat. If you're a Florida fan, we just got a reference to growing leaders. People. Yeah. They're good people.
Yeah.
They're becoming better leaders. We got problems, guys. If he brings up academics, we've got a real problem on our hands here because we're already going to the leadership card and the better people card.
I actually, and Corey said we haven't seen these. I actually saw this whole press conference, and he actually, and it wouldn't have made good viewing, but I'll just fill you in. in his like introductory statement, which was like 5 or 6 minutes, a good
What
filibuster.
about Gator Growl?
Oh, and he also talked about the internship program they have.
Okay.
They have some big internship program where there's
Yes.
all these life opportunities for the student athletes. And he picked this week, coincidentally, when they just got bludgeoned by Kentucky, to share that information.
Well,
Okay.
it's pretty clear that he's being asked about the signs of growth because he right off the bat says, I'm on the inside. And that's obviously a shot at the reporter. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm on the inside. Even though on the field, the results speak for themselves. You just got your ass beat by Kentucky in every manner. You can't possibly know how much we've grown. I'm on the inside.
Yeah.
And you weren't asking these questions a couple weeks ago, were you?
I wonder how he thinks it works, by the way, that after wins, say you beat somebody 56-0, people don't question the process. People don't question whether or not you're improving. But somehow magically, when you lose by 24 points on the road, somebody's curious about the process.
And you give up 300 yards rushing and look like you don't want to be there from the start of the game.
Come on.
Yeah, people
Billy.
might question you. I want to keep an eye on that water bottle.
All right.
Most coaches don't even pick it up. He's got it picked up as if he's going to drink from it. So
Let's
does
see if
he
he
say a snide comment and then take a sip like our man Willie Taggart did back in the day, which would have been an all-time coach speak moment?
Nice
I want to keep an eye on that water bottle.
I like it, Corey. You're going digging deep here. I like this. Let's go, Ben. Let's see it.
Ultimately, it is what it is, right? We have to deal with the result. So when we lose, we got to come in here every weekend and answer questions from the outside, right? So nothing's changed here. You know, when we play well, we do what we're supposed to do. We coach well. We're capable of winning games. You know, there's an old Brad Stevens quote. You know, you're really close to being a very average team, and you're really close to being a really good team. And I feel that way about our football team. I think if we're ready, we're capable, and we're executing, and we're playing with good communication, good fundamentals and techniques, we have urgency, we have hunger about us, we play with discipline, we can be a very effective team. If we don't have those things, we can be a very below average team as well.
All right, pause it.
You know,
So Brad Stevens came up with that line?
Not only that, is Brad Stevens the new John Wooden? Like, I didn't know he was old enough to have football coaches that I assume are his age or older quoting his quotes.
By the way, that there's an old Brad Stevens quote. This isn't the new Brad Stevens. This isn't the one you're aware of recently. This is Brad Stevens when he was 9.
Yeah, yes, right. Well, yeah, right. When he's on his rec basketball team, guys, we could be really good or we could be bad.
He's like, I read in a book once this quote from Brad Stevens. You remember him?
My favorite part is that he figures he can fill the time at this point as he's being questioned about bludgeoning, as we referenced, with just a bunch of ridiculous rhetoric. Just when we play well, we can win. When we play poorly, we lose.
And then we have to come in, answer questions from the outside.
Yeah, I got to answer questions from the outside, whether we win or lose. It's like, yeah, man, that's part of the job. And the outside is not those people in that room. It's the people watching you that pay millions of dollars to come watch your football team play. Do not call them outsiders. Do not refer to your fans as outsiders.
They cared about Florida football a little bit longer than he did, and will continue to care about Florida a little bit longer than he's there.
I hate to always bring it back to Jimbo Fisher, but we all recall covering Jimbo Fisher, how frequently he would reference Florida State fans as y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. Y'all, like, well, my man. Ain't this a we? What are we doing here?
Are we playing we fence, Coach?
Yeah.
That's right.
At $8 to $9 million a year, I feel like this is a we.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
All right, let's go, Billy. What else do you got for us?
I spoke about this briefly in preseason. You know, I think everything that we do is always being evaluated, right? And I think one of the things that's challenging as a leader when you have a core responsibility, if things in that area can be done better, you got to be able to tell yourself the truth, you know, if that makes sense. So, and I would tell you, I'm a lot more critical of myself than anybody on the outside is, right? So,
there it is again, Corey.
Outside.
You know, I've said it publicly. There's no sugarcoating this thing. You know, we have no excuse. we can coach better and we can play better, right? And I'm hopeful we will do that. This is 2023.
I understand, but so I want to go back to your Louisiana teams and your process there, because I didn't follow the, year to year there. Are you seeing similarities with what's going on in terms of the rebuild, the struggle early? Are you seeing signs that you saw there that maybe
Stop tapping the dais.
Yeah, no, I've got a ton of confidence in what we do and how we do it. We didn't play well Saturday, but that doesn't change my belief in what we do and how we do it. Now, reality is you got to always have the ability to adapt, and we've adapted in the past. I think everything's always, you're always evaluating.
Is he tired?
The water. He needs
Trying
the
to
water.
put your team. Each team's a little bit different, right? There's strengths and weaknesses of each team, right? So I think that's part of coaching, is evolving based off the personnel you have, the strengths and weaknesses. What skilled players do you have that year? What type of quarterback do you have? So,
Do you
I
think
think
he
we've
talks
done
this
that
slow
in the
all the
past. We'll
time?
continue to do
I hope
that.
not, man.
Just
It's a really good
outsiders.
question, though.
Just to the outside.
Hey, so
mean-
by the way, he thought he had a gotcha moment on that reporter who asked him about Vanderbilt from last year, and he said, "This is 2023."
No, he wasn't asking about Vanderbilt. He's asking
He was.
about what he did at Louisiana.
No. The
That's
original
about
question
Vanderbilt.
was about Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Oh,
He says,
If it got cut out, but yeah, he was asking him about you just lost to Kentucky. You got Vanderbilt coming up, and they beat you last
"They
year. or
beat you
something like
last
that.
year. This is
Oh.
2023."
yeah.
He didn't let the guy finish because then you heard it, Corey. The guy says, "Yeah, I know. I'm going to ask you about Louisiana and the process. Is it similar to what you did there? Because I didn't cover Louisiana."
Yeah.
So he looked like an ass because he didn't let the guy finish his question. He thought he was going to have a gotcha moment with the 2023 comment. So it's already, he's on the defensive. He's talking about academics and internship opportunities. He referenced Gator Growl in the larger version of this several times and how great it is and how cool the University of Florida is for the fans to come back to. Anything but talking about that last ass kicking and the problem in the process of getting better. Anything. I'm surprised he didn't cite the school colors.
Look, man, it's Florida. So, like, if you win, they're going to be happy with you. But every school is. If you win. But good grief, that's your leader. Like, that's your leader. That's the guy you're rallying behind. These Florida fans and what they've had to put up with coaching-wise, literally since Spurrier, is unbelievable. Just the personalities and the unlikable personalities. I guess Muschamp was likable. All the other ones weren't, but he wasn't a very good coach. All the other ones, you've got Dan Mullen, the weirdo. You've got Shark Tank. You've got Zook. Meyer, who was a great coach, but good grief with that guy, like, golly. And then they've got this dude who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world than Gainesville, Florida, coaching a football team. That's what he presents to us outsiders.
I like that he keeps referring to them as outsiders. This is going to age well.
Yeah.
He could have, look, man, he didn't go to the Patino route. He didn't say, hey, Lewis Oliver's not walking through that door.
Lewis Oliver, Chris Collins weren't walking through that
Wilbur
door.
Wilbur
Marshall's
not walking through that door, guys.
Neil Anderson, none of them.
Well played. Well played.
Lewis
All right,
Oliver.
Ben, what do we got next?
Oh, we've got friend of the program, Dave Aranda, next. His
big win.
team did not look good in the first quarter. Tweeted you guys about that. But they rallied, and the vibes are flowing in Waco now. There's just vibes galore for Dave Aranda.
All right, Dave, what we got?
Go ahead. Is there any concern in kind of the momentum, all the good vibes coming out of the UCF game, kind of swinging too far the other way, for y'all, and kind of being too confident, if that makes any sense?
I think it's probably a pretty big vacuum of good vibes, so we're not. I think we're pretty safe in that area.
That's the best phrasing I've ever. There's a pretty big vacuum of good vibes.
He's
this
won
program.
me over, guys. I've got to tell you, I really look forward to Dave Aranda every week when we do this show. I love seeing your faces, but something about Dave Aranda sitting up there like this at the dance.
Yeah. The setting, the way he responds, all of it seems like a skit.
It's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I watched his press conference from after the game at UCF, and then I watched that whole press conference, and I just love every moment of it. We can't share the whole thing, but we had to give them at least a little bit of love because they did win the game. What were they down? 20-something points?
They were down
35-7
points. Yeah.
in the second half.
Points and they came back. Well, again, we should have UCF's coach talking about this because you know how much I love that guy.
Yeah.
Good old Gus. The funny, there's another part where he talks about how he's talking about the confidence in the team, and he's like, well, what happens is one player makes a play and they get confident. And then they transmit that confidence to the next player. And I'm like, transmit?
Of course he said it. Of course he said transmit.
I mean,
this guy is the head of a cult. It's fantastic.
Well, it's the right city.
Oh, buddy. Well played, Corey Clark. That's an underrated joke. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, it wasn't a joke. It was the truth.
No, I'm just saying that's an underrated comment. It's well done.
Hey, guys, Mike Gundy is a man. He's 56, and some weeks it kind of feels like college football is passing him by. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The game.
What's that?
The players promoting folks with a purpose after the game on social media.
What are you asking me?
Like, what did you make of that? Just the.
I didn't even know that happened. I'm not aware of it. I mean, I have no idea that they. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. I'm okay to answer the question. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
NIL collective.
No, I know the NIL, but you're saying our players.
They were like tweeting out like, "Hey, support."
I'm not on Twitter now, or X or whatever. I don't even know how to get on there. So any of that stuff, I don't have any idea what goes on. None.
How important is it in your mind for fans to be aware of the collective and potentially donating to it?
Yeah, the NIL and the collective is very, very important. And I think that Pokes with a Purpose and our administration has done a good job of trying to get information out there. It is very important. It is becoming a part of college football. And I think it's here to stay. So it is very important, and it's something that is, I guess, going to grow from here on out. What direction it'll go, nobody knows. But it is very important. It's a part of what we do. And Pokes with a Purpose has done a great job. And how they work with our administration in the future is important, and I think they're trying to work through all that right now, as is every other school in the country.
Is NIL something you're pitching with recruits? Is like, we have this great collective here at Oklahoma State, Pokes with a Purpose, and that's different than other schools might be.
It's doing a stretch.
Is that something you're talking about with potential recruits and commits?
We don't here because it's illegal. I don't break the rules. So now I don't know if other people do or not. That's a good question.
Is any human being that's been paid, I don't know, $6, $7, $8, $9 million a year seem less interested in whatever their occupation is than Mike Gundy?
I kind of admire it.
Yeah, that one was different than the one we had earlier in the year. I also, is it just what he does where he just walks off screen?
He does.
It's
awesome.
like Al Gore during the debates back in 2000 where he would just show up in front of George Bush like he would just walk the stage.
You're like, why is he in his screenshot?
Yeah, just Gundy just walking off to go. For what purpose?
He does it. Yeah, I think it's to hear better, but it's like you don't, dude. Do you not realize that there's a camera? He'll just wander. It's almost like he's doing like a stand-up comic. He'll just pace from side to side.
Yeah, like Chris Rock. Yeah, hitting the mic after he talks about how he loves NIL.
But I think you answered your question, Ira. He doesn't care
at all.
So the wandering about, like, he's not worried about that camera. He's not worried about what anybody's worried about. Like, he doesn't know even what you're talking about. He has zero idea what you're talking about.
My other favorite, and this is not really the gist of this one, but my favorite thing, and again, this was something Jimbo is famous for, is when these coaches who run multi-million-dollar organizations, maybe billion-dollar organizations, if you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. Who will proudly proclaim that they can't figure out how to get on an app that a 5-year-old can get on. Like, it's literally
just getting on the internet.
Yeah. I get an idea. Type in twitter.com or type in x.com. See what happens. You
Yeah.
might
Well,
be
a
able
lot
to
of
get on
a lot
there.
of things could happen when you type in
Type in
X
X.com, right? Be
Yeah.
careful about typing in X.com.
on a work phone.
Say you don't like it, you don't agree with it, you don't whatever. Like Jimbo would be like, I don't know how to check email.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
come on, man. Then maybe you shouldn't have this job making $10 million a year.
The internet. What? The internet. What? Guys, I'm too busy in the day coaching football. I don't have time to get on.
Kirby doesn't know that there's college football rankings. Mike Gundy doesn't know about social media at all. Proudly.
Or NIL, apparently.
It's the default.
So their name for their collective is Pokes with a Purpose?
Pokes with a Purpose.
Best NIL name in the world, by
That's
the way.
ridiculous.
Pokes with a Purpose is fantastic. Think
And
of
what
shit
was the
you make.
question, Ira?
It's PWAP. PWAP.
PWAP is the acronym?
Is what we call it.
I don't think that sounds like. On that note, Ben, what do we got?
Old PWAP.
All right, so just a disclaimer, this next one is going to be a lot. It's a 5-minute Jim Harbaugh answer when he was asked a very simple question about selfishness among his players.
He's
So,
going. Here we
saddle
go.
in, guys.
All right, here we go.
Selfishness a few times too. Can you coach that, or is that how does that develop in a team?
Yeah, it's.
How do you get unselfishness was what he was asked.
How does that develop? You know, that's maybe that's
He's
one
actually
of
thinking
the
there.
great mysteries. You know,
It is one of the great mysteries.
Of a
Struggling
team
to
environment.
breathe.
I definitely think it comes from
Listen to
the
that breathing.
individuals.
Labored.
Those individuals. Yeah, I think if that was real coachable, probably be happening a lot more. But yeah, it's rare. It's rare when it happens. But I mean, you see what our team. I mean, this game really wasn't all won on Saturday. I mean, this was the way they practiced, the entire team. Yeah, the starters, the backups.
Backups. Yep, that was next.
Walk-ons.
The players who play in the spot situations, specialized on special teams or offense and defense.
We get it, man. We know who's
Scout
on a
team players,
football
the
team.
freshmen.
This is
Guys who are going pro that aren't taking a knee. You know,
can't do
that
this.
are. I could give you 50, 60 examples.
Please do.
You just
Please
did.
do.
With our
You just
team.
did.
Yeah, that's the. It's the one thing that when things are scary good, you know, it's that's where you want to be. That's who you want to be with.
Holy, the
That's how you
synapses
wanna
are
be
not
doing
firing,
things.
boys.
The law of averages say that it's going to catch up to you, and you know,
What's going to
to
catch
see if
up?
we could
What are
defy
you talking
Newton's
about?
Sir Isaac Newton's laws.
This is gibberish.
No. He's got a point here. The law of averages say you're not going to stay unselfish forever. Like there's going to be stuff that comes up. He's going to explain Sir Isaac Newton's theory of gravity. He is about to get to,
Okay.
and then he's going to talk about other forces that
You think
prevent.
he's got a
teams-
handle on the theory?
Oh yeah. Ben will show it. Ben will show us.
Laws of gravity. You know what goes up must come down.
Mhm.
And the gravitational force of the Earth is tremendous.
Immense.
And so are some of the forces against the football team. You know, some of the things that are
Best
set there
gravitational force in the
to
universe.
divide a football team.
Certainly superior to Russia's.
And the ones that aren't divided are the ones that are playing in the playoffs and, you know, eventually champion. But yeah, there's the opponent. There's
The crowd.
human jealousy. There's the star
Sometimes it's
system.
windy.
There's the
Human
media
jealousy.
that likes.
Well, he just said the stars. Did he say the
accusing
star
anything,
system?
But yeah, people that
No, he
read
didn't.
like to read the salacious story. You know, like to see where things may be divided. Not blaming that on anybody
he meant the
here.
star
It's
system
just
is like
human nature.
football
But
stars.
There's definitely
It's hard
force.
to
There's
know with them.
injury. There's
Not the solar system.
there's confidence. There's so many things that, you know, and eventually selfishness. You know, it's another human nature thing on a football team. And I look at our team. and it's not just the players; it is the players. I mean, it is the players.
Man.
I mean, those guys got so much at stake, with their individual careers, and there's nothing more important to me than each and every guy's individual
Can you pause
career.
for 1 second, Ben?
Ben, pause it
for 1 second,
So,
Ben. Please.
Ben.
So, all right. So, for people at home that haven't taken part in a press conference, when you ask a question, kind of the part that's you're incumbent on you is you have to kind of pay attention and keep your eyes locked on the person who's answering your question to let them know you're interested in their response.
Yeah.
What is going through this woman's mind right now?
Oh God, why am I here?
The good news is that he looks off into a sunset that only he can see.
That's
most of this answer. He's not like Norvell.
He looks back at her. He looks back at her.
He keeps looking back at her to make sure. Like I'm still talking to you, but so many times, like even right now as we paused it, he ain't looking at her.
Look at those eyes, guys. Look at those eyes. Look into them.
She asked him about like, how did you get this unselfish team? And where is he taking us?
Universe, man. And also, by the way, my man, I'm telling you, I caught some flack for this, but I said the CTE is strong in this one. I'm telling you, it is. I think we got problems here, Corey. I know they're undefeated and they're playing well. Corey,
no, not that. I don't know what he was like as when he was at Michigan in '86. Like and I saw him play Florida State in '86. By the way, he might have always been this dude. He has always been a kind of odd dude.
No, but he didn't sound like this when he was with the Colts.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
He didn't sound like this with the 49ers. He sounded annoying, but I mean, good God, this is like space.
It's almost like he's playing a character.
It could be. It could be. I think we're still debating.
I still think he's got labored breathing. I don't know, man. I'm worried about my man.
He did have labored breathing to start this.
It's just kind of weird. Like he's exhausted trying to answer this question. Well,
we're all exhausted.
He's exhausting, is what he is.
All right, Ben. Let's see if we can wrap it with him.
To do both, to love both, do what's best for your family, do what's best for you, and then get the team in there. I mean, that's scary good. And that's happening with our staff, our coaching staff, the coordinators, the assistant coaches, staff, the medical, the doctors, the trainers, the equipment staff, Gary Hazlett, Sonny, Drew.
Security
in the weight room with Herb, Jay Tress, Darren, Benny Raby, Locke.
He could just be making up names.
Bill Johnson in the training room.
JoJo,
Pierre,
Bean-Eater.
Jason, and Steve. With Dave.
What is?
No shameless self-promotion. Scott Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Albert. Claiborne Green.
You'd be remiss if you didn't mention Albert. He's the key to the whole operation.
It's a scary good thing.
Yeah.
Don't think about. Hey, guys, I recognize what Wendy does.
How do you keep those balls up in the air? How do you keep them high? I mean,
there's got to be somebody he didn't mention. By
energy
the way.
and working at it and attacking it.
What the hell?
It's the only way to keep a balloon up that doesn't have helium in it, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, that's going to come down. But hey, smoke still rises.
What is he talking about?
Yeah.
It stays up a long time. I've noticed. Heat, I guess heat, energy. Those things are the way we're going about it.
You finished it off with a great flourish about smoke going in the air.
Could we get a Dave Aranda, Jim Harbaugh show? Like, could they host a show together and just freewheel?
Those two could answer the questions. Who would we want to be either the interviewer or the moderator? Like, who is going to do? Like, we need another coach in there to ask them the questions and then get angry, perhaps.
Yeah.
Jimbo could.
Jimbo'd be great. He'd keep the conversation
going. What are you guys talking about?
What's right?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
Can we talk football?
You're nuts, Dave. No, it's like I'm about done with Harbaugh, guys. I don't know that.
That was an odd journey. That was a really odd journey we went on there with that one question.
Do we end it there, Ben, or what do we think? Do we put a ribbon on this? What do you want to do? We good? That's it? That's all?
I think maybe we got to redeem it with one more. We got one more.
We need a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I didn't like that one. Let's try the other whiskey. Let's go somewhere else here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Biff Poggi, who is Charlotte's coach. He coaches in a sleeveless shirt.
Nice.
And his 49ers are 1-4, and we're going to see something from Biff that we have not seen from many coaches this year, and that is accountability.
Oh.
I take away that I've done a pretty poor job getting them ready. We just make too many mistakes, and, you know, we're going back and forth between quarterbacks, and so many errors. Can't score in the red zone. I think we gave up a bunch of yards today, too, so it's all three part of the phases of the game. Like, yeah, we had a bad snap on punt. Just led to a touchdown. We had a penalty that we were out at 3-3, would have been out the field, led to a touchdown. You know, those kind of things are catastrophic. I mean, so, you know, it's have we gotten any better? I don't know, quite frankly. I'm not sure, really. I mean, if I was trying to be, you know, analytical about it right now instead of emotional, I would say we probably a little bit, but not a whole lot, not enough to compete at all in the league. And I mean, just not good enough job by me. And our kids play like a team that isn't well coached. Thank you.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time. Thanks.
So he, I've never seen him before. This is the first time I've ever seen that man.
Drinking a Miller Lite in his hand while he's talking there.
Yeah.
But he when they played Florida a few weeks ago, and I remember like during the game, like Florida fans tweeting and media tweeting like they saw him come out dressed like that. He wears like a shirtless shirt, and then they said like they thought that's what he would wear during warmups, but that's what he wore during the entire game. He's coaching against the University of Florida.
Yeah.
So
tattered too. It's a tattered collar. It's with no sleeves.
So bring it full circle. Billy Napier's. Nobody was asking him these tough questions when he was beating that guy. And
that's
team.
right.
That's one of his wins. So far.
Yeah,
and he beat that guy,
points.
I think 22-6.
Oh, 22-7. It was big.
Yeah, it was a relatively close game. Yeah.
2 scores.
I'll say though, we're on here a lot talking about we want the coaches to have accountability.
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of how he did it. Maybe the smoke and mirrors and talking about rising to the sun is the outsiders. I'd be a little, those Charlotte fans, if there are any, probably weren't all that fired up to see the coach look like that after a loss.
I think beleaguered is the best way to describe
is a great
my man.
descriptor. Yeah.
Beleaguered. And I also kind of feel bad for him. Life's got the best of him. He's taking some punches, guys. He's taking some punches in his time.
I think his story wasn't he with Harbaugh? I think he was at Michigan for a long time. I think, and this is
Maybe
his
that's
first
why
head
he's
coaching
beleaguered.
job. Yeah, well, he's had to listen to that guy.
He had to endure that
years.
nonsense in coaches' meetings.
I could be wrong, but I think he worked with Harbaugh and then left and went to, or maybe Ohio State, one of the two. But now this is his first head coaching job, and it's clearly not taking
coach. Get a good night's
That's
rest.
When
Get some water in you.
When he wrapped up the interview with, we just look like a bunch of players that are just not well coached. I thought the guy interviewing him was going to like put his arm around him.
Yeah,
coach, it's going to be all right. You're going to play again Saturday.
We've all made mistakes. It happens. Like, don't get so down on yourself. There's another game next week. Let's coach him up. Like, you want that guy to be the coach to the coach.
Yes.
Come on, buddy. You're better than this. You're better. Why don't we start by wearing a real shirt? Why don't we start there? Maybe if we look good, feel good. Good.
He doesn't subscribe to that, clearly.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Ira. And thank all of you for watching Coach Speak. Another edition next week, every Thursday, in fact. We appreciate you watching. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have some more collections of greatness and Smoke and Sun and Dave Aranda.
And no Harbaugh.
No Harbaugh.
Harbaugh free zone.
Really
done.
Completely goes off. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's it. Be good, everybody. Peace. Enjoy the week.